In today's video, we would examine an integral part of our interactions as humans and probably get to know why we act in certain ways under certain conditions. If you have ever sat down for a meal, probably Thanksgiving dinner with your grandma, uncles, aunts, and cousins, you might have noticed how much grandma beamed with smiles as she worked herself out to prepare the sumptuous turkey for the family. Imagine for a second that after you finished eating, you stood up before everyone present at the dinner to announce your intentions to pay for the meal. The chances are you might make your grandma a very unhappy woman with your action. Even if she used up the last cent in her account to prepare the meal, she would still consider what you did wrong. Why is this so, you might ask? It is really because we live in two worlds at the same time. A money-driven world and a world where social interaction thrives. These perspectives, largely referred to as the market norm and social norm, exist with defined rules, and they both find expression in our daily lives. Social norms. Every now and then we get called upon to be a part of a social circle. Our very nature as humans is largely responsible for this. When we get offered employment, move into a new neighborhood, or get married to someone, these new phases open up aspects of relationships. These relationships must be sustained, and more often than not, money is not the currency used to sustain these relationships. Social norms stem from our need to connect and build communities as human beings. It is a very important part of human life, and humanity would be less human without it. In the Thanksgiving story we told earlier, Grandma would be upset because you tried to use the wrong currency to appreciate her. Is it possible that she hates money? Absolutely not. However, you ran foul of the rules that govern social norms by offering money. The reason people can coexist in society is because of this very important norm. If you have ever done something for someone without expecting to be paid, for instance, you walked your neighbor's dog, babysat their baby, or helped a friend move some stuff around the house, you simply lived by social norms, market norms. This is also an important part of the human society. It is transactional in nature. More often than not, the motivation to do anything is cash dependent. When you go seeking a job or starting up a business, one of the things you want to accomplish is financial freedom. You may like your employer, but that is not really a criterion for getting paid. If you carry out your job as spelled out in your job description, you would get paid. This is an unemotional prompt system that is part of the human society. With this norm, additional money might trigger higher levels of motivation and productivity. Social norms versus market norms. Although these norms are important to every functional society, we must learn how to prevent them from mixing up. For instance, if you go out on a date, it would be nice to pick your date up from home, ensure she is comfortable, pay for whatever meal you both have, and see that she gets home safely. All of these acts are great examples of social norms. However, if you begin to complain about how much you spent on that dinner, you would have blurred the lines and probably destroyed that relationship. The truth is, it is never a good idea to mix social and market norms. Since both norms are an important part of human existence, how do we carefully bridge the gap if we must retain our social relationships? It has been proven that one of the best ways to compensate for a social transaction is to offer gifts. Again, if you had offered some wine at the Thanksgiving dinner with Grandma, she would have readily accepted that with much appreciation. To further demonstrate this, some social experimenters prepared a task for 3 sets of people. Their task was to pull some circles to the middle of a computer monitor screen. The experimenters offered $5 to one group, they offered 5 cents to another, and to the third group, they simply requested their help. When the results came in, those offered $5 pulled in about 159 circles. The team with 5 cents pulled in about 101 circles, and the third group, who were offered nothing, pulled in an average of 168. You might be surprised why this happened, but it turns out that being a part of a task for the greater good of others almost always makes people interested in doing such tasks. A group of lawyers was once contacted by the AARP to provide legal services for about $30 an hour for needy retirees, and almost all of them declined as it was beneath their hourly rates. However, they were later asked to provide free services for the vulnerable needy retirees, and believe it or not, these lawyers agreed to do so. The rules that govern market rules are stringent. As a result, if they are not met, do not expect to get the help or required services. However, the AARP switched from market norms to social norms. They activated a deep-seated desire in all humans, which is to do something for the greater good of humanity. And so they gladly accepted $0 over $30 per hour. If this is the case, we must be ready to incorporate social norms into all aspects of our lives as much as possible. Of course, we would need to switch the market norms periodically, but social norms seem to have greater effects in steering the world toward better directions. Businesses must learn to not only recognize their human resources as mere statistics, data, and tools. When employees realize that all they have to do is stay at their desk between 9 to 5 and get paid at the end of the week or month, they're not likely to demonstrate loyalty to their companies. This is because they know that the fundamental building block of humanity, which is social connection and interaction, is missing. In a bid to correct this, companies like Google, for instance, have gourmet lunches as part of the many social and financial benefits for their staff. This kind of work approach engenders a sense of family and increased loyalty to the brand. As a result, you're less likely to see high staff turnover from Google or startups that create in their staff a sense of family and social bonding. The world should move from transactional templates to social templates. For instance, in the educational world, we must move from our interests in getting children to school and counting the hours they spend and then going ahead to slam them with assignments and exams to actually letting them know what they can contribute to the human race by being educated. Instead of berating a child to get to class, you would achieve a higher level of compliance when you tell the child that you need him to be in class so that he can become a doctor to save lives, for instance. It turns out that children are thrust into school and have to figure out why they are in school later on. However, if they were shown the big picture of why they are subjected to the learning process, it would be easier to get them to accept and enjoy the process. We must also be very careful not to mix both norms, as it is especially difficult to regain social norms the moment they are lost or converted to market norms. It is better to stick with what you want and remain there. When businesses try to implement social norms in their businesses and do not execute properly, they end up creating more problems and sometimes eroding whatever community spirit they were trying to build. Ultimately, it would be a great idea to know how both norms work. However, we should strive to use the market norms only when necessary and see to it that social norms are encouraged. Money is important, but was never a foundational building block of human civilization. In time past, exchanges happened based on social interactions, and it might be a great idea to revisit how things worked before money became such a driving force on Earth. If you enjoyed this video, then we're sure that you would enjoy a deeper probe into human nature within social circles, and how we sometimes cross the lines that make us sabotage ourselves eventually. That is something we would like to talk about in our next video. Thank you for watching.